Okay, the last part of the meal that we are going to make is the fried rice. Now you're going to use the same pan that you used earlier to cook your hibachi vegetables because it's a good pan to get around. Just like you did the scooping action before with the vegetables, you'll be doing the same thing with the rice. So we're started with it on medium-high heat, and we're going to let it get a little warm, and we're going to add our olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever it is you have, probably about a tablespoon. And you're going to swirl it around just like you did for the hibachi vegetables. And then we are first going to start with our onion that we sliced up earlier. So let's go ahead and add it to our plate. Made sure to add it early because I didn't want it to pop on me, because last time with the vegetables I definitely got burned on the finger. That didn't feel too good. So we're just going to let it cook on its own for right now. And we just recently moved to this house, and I just recently have gotten this electric stove. It's nice being a flat top, but it is a little difficult to figure out when to start cooking things, because before I had a gas stove and it was very straightforward as to when it was ready. So we're just gonna let this kind of mix with the olive oil on the bottom of the pan. Turn it up just a little bit so you can start hearing it sizzle. Okay. Okay. Now it is cooking. And you don't want to cook them for very long. You just want it to kind of get a little bit of that strong onion flavor kind of cooked down a little bit. And as far as utensils go for fried rice, use whatever you really have on hand. I'm just using a spatula right now, but you'll see in a few minutes that I'm going to be using this. Actually, it's a cake server, but it's nice and flat, and I found that it actually helps me cook a little bit, because if you notice at the Japanese steakhouses, they have those really flat, awesome spatulas, and that was just really all that I have in my house. Okay, so those are cooking nicely now. Let me turn down the heat just a little bit. And once they're cooked, you'll want to move all of your onions to one side of the pan, right here, and I'll show you in just a second. You'll want them just to kind of be on one side because you're going to add your egg next. And I like to just kind of scoop them up and let the oil drain down a little bit. And if you find that there's not enough oil to coat the pan where your egg is going to cook, you just add just a little bit more. Fried rice, you can really never have enough oil. Okay, so we got that going. So we're going to crack one egg right there on your pan. And as you see, the oil kind of catches it. Let's see if I can show you. Right there. It kind of catches it right there, so you're going to let it cook for a minute. And at the same time, your onions are still cooking off to the side. And what I like to do for the egg, and if I can move it any closer, my little stand doesn't want to stay for me. See how it's starting to turn white? You want it to completely turn white, because it ends up, if you're too quick to break the yolk, it ends up just kind of being this big old egg mess. Let's see if I can show you. So I like to kind of cook my egg a little bit before I start. And And again, when you have a hibachi grill that's nice and flat, you can cook an egg in like 2 seconds and it cooks really nicely. So you just kind of have to improvise a little bit here. Okay. See how it's cooking? And then I'm going to break the yolk and let it start working its way. Cook that. Egg in. Alright, now I'm going to combine my egg and onion. And see how I use this flat spatula? It's actually picking up the egg on the bottom so it doesn't burn on the bottom. And it makes it nice and light. You can also kind of chop it a little bit too. That's why I like using it. Alright. So that looks pretty good, all nice and cooked. Now you're going to add your pre-cooked cold rice just to it. Now you see it kind of just, it's so cold that it made like a little patty almost. So you're going to want to take your spatula or whatever you have on hand and kind of break it up. You want it to get nice and good. Now if you wanted to go ahead and do this before adding it, you can. It really doesn't matter. And so I like to kind of start it and then see where I'm at with it depending on how cold it is. And then start mixing it together because that warm oil and the warm onions and egg will kind of start getting it broken up a little bit too. And you'll see that it'll all of a sudden start sticking to the bottom of your pan. That's just really what happens. You'll have to scrub it later. That's part of making fried rice. Alright. Let me make sure you're able to see it. For some reason my little stand just doesn't want to stay still anymore. Okay. Let me see if I can back it up a little bit. See if that's a little bit better. See if that's a little bit better. Not. Turn off maybe that light. I don't know. Okay. Alright, let's see. Now that it's cooking, yeah, now it's getting warm. You can kind of take your spatula and start scraping the sides and keeping it all together. And it's starting to stick on the bottom. You want to go ahead and add your spices. I'm going to be adding some garlic salt because I pretty much add that to everything, and I always drop the top, never fails. And I'm going to add some fresh hot pepper. Thank you, baby. Go ahead and stir that in there. If you want, you can also add about maybe about a little tablespoon of butter to it. It helps cook the rice some more. I think I'm not going to this time just because I did add a good amount of oil in the beginning. If you find that maybe your rice is a little too dry, you can always add some butter. That makes it nice and rich. Just gives it a little bit more flavor. And I know some people go to steakhouses or Japanese steakhouses, and you see that when they add the oil, they also add bacon. Sometimes, I mean, bacon's okay. I did go to one steakhouse that added a whole bunch of bacon, so you were basically eating bacon fried rice, which it was good, but it just wasn't what I was used to. Eggs? Yep, there's eggs in it. Okay, that's nice and stirred up, and so at the end, the final thing you want to do is add your soy sauce.
Soy sauce?
Again, that is just personal preference with how much soy sauce you like. I usually like to just coat the top and then taste my rice and see if I need any more. Okay, let's see. I'm going to give you a visual of what it looks like.
What's that?
That is fried rice.
It's egg?
Alright, let me try this real fast.
It's like chick.
Well, that's very good. So it is ready.